yesterday be approved by this August Assembly. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This is addressed to the President of the Senate, that the meeting of the Senate Committee on the review of the 1999 Constitution as amended, earlier scheduled for today, will now hold tomorrow. This is Senator. This is saying it will hold tomorrow. But it says tomorrow, Wednesday, instead of. Oh, it should have been announced yesterday. Okay, this is hereby announced for yesterday. So, so the meeting will hold today, Wednesday, 21st February 2024, immediately after the plenary at Committee Room 107. Senate building. So all intended members of this Constitution Review Committee, 1999 as amended, are invited. Signed, Deputy Senate President, Senator Jibrin Barao. Any petition? Distinguished Senator Plang.
President of the Senate, my colleagues, I am Senator Dicket Plang, Senator representing the good people of Plateau Central Senatorial District. Mr. President of the Senate and my colleagues, I have a petition written by one of my constituents, Alexander Matthew, a constituent of mine, who went to the United Kingdom, in particular Newcastle University in the UK, and took along his family. Along the line, he had issues that led to the separation of himself and his children by the authority of the United Kingdom. He has a petition and has written a petition to the Senate to kindly look into his issue with a desire that probably with the assistant authority of the Senate, he will find some justice to what has been made to him. I have the petition here, and Mr. President and my colleagues, he has not gone to court, he is not in court, he has not gone into any law issue as regards it, but desiring that this Senate can come in between and probably there will be resolutions. Thank you for the opportunity to present this petition.
Please proceed to lay the petition. Petition? Yes.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am Amos Yohana, representing Adamawa North Senatorial District. There is a petition from a constituent of mine who is petitioning against his unlawful dismissal from the Nigerian police force. He was dismissed after a prolonged health issue, and all plea to restore him to service was proved to be abortive. And so he's petitioning this hallowed chamber that his case be looked into. And he has not approached any court of law. Mr. President, with your permission, I will proceed to lay the petition.
Please proceed. In the meantime, the permission from Senator Plang is referred to the Committee on Ethics Code of Conduct and Public Petitions in collaboration with the Committee on Foreign Affairs, and to report back to the Senate in 2 weeks. Let's get the petition first. Then we have 2 points of order. Now 3. Any other person? Okay, maybe. The committee, by distinguished Johanna, is referred to the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions to report back to the Senate in 2 weeks. Point of order, Senator Ninge.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Abdul Ningi, and I represent Bakshi Central. Mr. President, I am referring you to Order 42, 41, and 51. By your leave, let me first take 42. By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the Senate President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward or may be debate arising from the explanation. The terms of the proposed statement shall be submitted to the detail of the President of the Senate when his leave to make it thought. Mr. President, I had a 1-minute discussion with you yesterday after I met the Senate leader who called my attention that I busted out of the Senate chamber and banged the door. Truly, I was angry yesterday, but I'm also a parliamentarian. Yesterday wasn't the first time that they been stepping down items in the order paper. But truly, when I went out, I remember opening the door, but I didn't remember closing the door, let alone banging it. I had to leave when my matter was not carried because ab initio, I had invited 2 commissioners nominee from Osun and Ogun by 1 o'clock for the screening of the nomination of the president. So I was actually in a hurry because I was 3 hours late, and that would be corroborated by quite a number of senators who saw me leaving the Senate chamber direct to the screening room. I would like, Mr. President, if some people felt some kind of indiscretion from my part, I would like to apologize to the institution, to the seat of the Senate President, and to all my colleagues. It's not very, very unlike me to get annoyed and burst out of the chamber. Yes, I was a little bit touched, but it's a parliament. I have seen this even for over 17 years. So I would like my colleagues to take note and apologize if some of my behavior touch on their sensibilities. Mr. President, I apologize. The second order has to be order.
Let me, the first order you came under is order 42. It does not require debate. So I must say the point of order is well explained and noted, but as much as you are apologizing to your distinguished brothers and sisters it is totally not in your character to be angry to a point of probably banging the door. So we did not notice that you banged the door, but we noticed when you walked out, but we didn't know you had an emergency. So your point of order is sustained. Yes.
Which says, dispensing with notice. Notice shall not be dispensed with in the case of a motion or in respect of any other proceeding for which matter is required except with the consent of the President of the Senate and the general assent of the senators present. Mr. President, one of the biggest emirates in my constituency, Misau constituency, had a very terrible, disturbing fire outbreak. The market that had been in place for close to 100 years was engulfed in an inferno of a very, very high magnitude. And because of the time, and because of the concern, I see it imperative that I bring this thing forward to the Senate. The Senate takes a look at it. As always, the Senate always look at the human face of a particular matter. And therefore, I'm bringing a motion of urgent public importance, which is straightforward, calling the attention of the various palliative agencies, from NEMA to Northeast Development Commission to Refugee, to take a look at what happened in Misau on the 14th of February and try to alleviate the suffering of that community. That is my motion, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, Senator Ningi had actually discussed this issue briefly with me yesterday, and I felt it touches on the lives of Nigerians, and that he could bring it out for us to look at. So it means if the Senate is well disposed to it, we will take the motion by Senator Abbas, which was referred to today, and also even take a look at yours the same day. Is that the disposition of the Senate? Those in support that we take this motion as urgent, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So this, Senator Abbas, proceed to move your motion and deal after Senator Ningi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Aminu E. Abbas, Senator representing Adamawa Central District. Mr. President, recall that yesterday I moved for point of order 41 and 51 together, and today the motion has been circulated around, and I want to take the motion now, Mr. President. The motion is on planned increase in electricity tariff and arbitrary billing of unmetered customers by distribution companies in Nigeria. Our Senate should note with the greatest dismay the plan to increase electricity tariff by the relevant statutory authority in gross disregard of increased economic challenges with attendant widespread poverty and high cost of living. The Senate might note that the Honorable Minister of Power was reported saying the nation must begin to move towards a cost-effective tariff model, as the country is currently indebted to the tune of 1.3 trillion naira to generating companies and $1.3 billion owed gas companies, according to him. Over 2 trillion needed for subsidy. Only 415 billion was budgeted for in 2024. The Senate might further note that the same electricity businesses are collecting money from customers for services not rendered, when they have not added anything to the equipment they inherited from PHCN. Communities buy transformers to replace damaged ones, in addition to overburden bills and arbitrary estimates for unmetered customers. Cognizance, in a country where a greater number of population live below poverty level, with stagnant wages, rising inflation, and depreciating currency, the prospect of high electricity bill is unattainable. Note that issue of arbitrary energy charges on unmetered customers has become worrisome, given the February 2024 report of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, on the non-compliance with energy billing caps by discourse, and the penalty of 10.5 billion naira imposed on the distribution companies that overbill its unmetered customers. Aware, in 2018, the then Minister of Power, Works and Housing directed Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to issue a regulation that facilitates signing of meter agreement between the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Ziegler's Company, and other meter asset providers to address the metering gaps in the power supply industry. Further aware that as far back as 2020, the President then ordered the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to commence mass prepaid metering to end the estimated billing, and that funds were released to that effect. Disturbed that the multiple sanctions declared to be imposed by the NERC against discourse for failing to comply with the scrapping of estimated billing for unmetered customers, which include credit adjustments to overall bill on unmetered customers for the period of January-September 2023 by March 2024 billing cycle, publication of list of credit adjustment beneficiaries in 2 national dailies, and deduction of 10.5 billion naira from the annual allowed revenue of 11 discourse during the next tariff review seem to have been in futility, given the continued violation by discourse. 4, direct NERC to ensure the implementation of energy caps by the discourse to unmetered customers in the country. 5, direct the committee to submit a comprehensive report for further legislative action within 3 weeks. I so move, Mr. President.
Yes, Senator Agadaga.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, Senator Chief Benson Sunday Agadaga is my name. I represent Bayelsa East Senatorial District in Bayelsa State. I rise to second the motion ably presented by Senator Abbas in respect of increase in tariff in the country. I so second it. Thank you, Mr. President.
SARS.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, I rise to second this motion. I'd like to speak further in support of this motion. Mr. President, distinguished senators, One of the reasons for high cost of living now and the hunger in the system is the energy cost associated with the removal of subsidy and the merger of the two exchange rates. We cannot afford at this point in time to add yet another factor that has the potential to worsen the current economic situation, particularly when the discos have not been provided infrastructure. And I will give you an example. The telecommunication organizations, if they want to extend services to your area, they do not ask you to come and build for them base stations. They build the base stations. And when they build the base stations, because they know those base stations are required to provide their services, they bill you according to the usage of their telcos. But in case of discos, senators, reps, politicians are burdened with the responsibility of providing transformers, the infrastructure that is required by a disco to do their business. And yet they go on to do what they call estimated billing. If at this point in time now, we do anything, just anything again, to worsen the current situation, the current challenges that Nigerians are facing, it will be totally immoral, and it will be insensitive. So, Mr. President, this is not the time to talk about removal of any subsidy in the electricity tariff system. Indeed, what we need to focus on now is how to improve the power generation and the power distribution mechanism in the country. I read in the papers yesterday or so that the national grid, our output now is about 3.5 megawatt. If we object that we are here now, we're expressing blackout. You cannot be dishing out blackout and at the same time be asking people to pay more. I therefore support this motion, ably represented by distinguished Senator Iya Abbas. I so support, Mr. President.
Yes, Senator Abamoro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, my name is Abamoro. Mr. President, I rise to support this motion that any attempt at this moment to raise electricity tariff in this country is ill-timed. Mr. President, I want to inform this chamber that in the 9th Senate, an idea to raise electricity tariff was raised, and it was instantly killed because it was not in the interest of the people. Mr. President, I think our concern for this moment should be how to generate electricity and effectively, adequately distribute electricity. Most of the problems that we're having today, especially in the manufacturing sector of the economy, is as a result of low power. And many organizations and companies are relocating from Nigeria simply because they don't have energy to drive their organizations. And so, Mr. President, I support this motion, and I want to say that this Senate should resolve again, like the Senate did in the 9th Senate, that the desire to raise electricity tariff should be put on hold until the distribution of electricity is adequate and proper. Mr. President, let me also say that this issue of subsidy removal has become a very serious matter, and we must be very careful how we handle it. I so present, Mr. President.
Yes, distinguished Senator Abamoro, I'm even wondering whether we have proper record of the so-called subsidy on electricity tariff, because we shouldn't just take words from social media. Is there really subsidy in electricity tariff in the country? That was one area I was worried about. So, distinguished Senator Tambuwa.
Mr. President, thank you very much for the privilege. My respected colleagues, I am Amin Waziri Tambo, representing Sokoto South Senatorial District. Mr. President, I rise to speak in support of this motion in view of the prevailing situation in our dear country. We all do not need anybody to tell us what the situation in the country is all about. The populace are facing untold hardships, and the situation in the country is anything but normal. And removal of any subsidy, not to talk of electricity subsidy, will be more than adding petrol to fire. The situation in the country do not allow for even a contemplation of that. So when I heard the Minister of Power talking about that removal, I don't know his why, but I believe that is ill-timed, is insensitive to say the least, and therefore there is the need for the Senate to rise to this occasion and intervene. Let wisdom prevail in the governance of this country. We must manage the situation that we have at hand and make sure that as much as possible we continue to give hope to the people of Nigeria. There is the need for us as leaders to really be feeling the pulse of the country before any such policy is contemplated or implemented at all. So, Mr. President, I support this motion.
Senator Webwe.
Thank you, Mr. President. I remain Senator Peter Onyekachi Nwebonyi. I represent the good people of Ebonyi North Senatorial District. First is to thank the mover of this motion because it is indeed people-oriented motion as it affects all Nigerians. And in supporting this motion, Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, I want to say that the idea of increasing this electricity tariff at this point in time is a height of insensitivity in view of what Nigerians are passing through.
They have not increased electricity tariff.
I said the idea, Your Excellency.
No, he's saying that he's bringing a motion that he had that the increase in tariff is being contemplated. So it's not even the person that brought the motion is not talking about height of insensitivity. And you are the one adding that for him. So please withdraw your statement. No, use your mic.
Pardon, Your Excellency. That aspect is withdrawn. But the point I'm trying to draw home is that in view of what Nigerians are passing through economically today, we should not be talking of increasing electricity tariff. And I want to use this medium to call on the power holding companies across the nation to keep to their promises of giving Nigerians prepaid meters. They should stop this idea of estimated bills. They are doing this to Nigerians, and I see it as an intimidation because of the monopoly they enjoy, in ignorance of the fact that Nigerians don't have alternative to power supply. I therefore call on my colleagues to back this all-important and people-oriented motion for the interests of Nigerians. Thank you, sir.
Distinguished Senator Orji Uzor-Kalu, His Excellency.
Thank you, Mr. President. In supporting, I want to thank the movers of this motion. And in supporting this motion, I also want to reaffirm our minds that all over the world, government gives subsidy. We should play less in thinking that our federal government, state government cannot give subsidy, whether in electricity, in anything. Subsidy is usually given. All the world countries are telling us they don't give subsidy. There are subsidies abroad, in UK, in US, in America for food. There are subsidies for electricity. They cannot ask us that we will not give subsidy. So I supporting this motion probably that we should rethink and increasing our tariffs. It's not the right thing to do if they propose to increase tariffs without electricity. The electricity companies are not even giving us light at this time. Why should people be paying for what they did not use? They give people estimated bills. That is where we should focus, and focus on generation and transmission, not increasing the tariffs. People should have what they are paying for, Mr. President. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
This is Senator Mbigi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I remain Mpigi Barinada. I represent the people of Rivers Southeast Senatorial District. Mr. President, I stand to support the motion ably raised by my distinguished brother. Mr. President, in supporting this motion, I want to say the side effect of increase in tariff as a result of unmetered electricity within the consumable areas of electricity users outweighed the importance. Firstly, Mr. President, if there is an increase, it's going to increase financial burden on the consumers. Mr. President, it also has to do with a kind of what we call discontent and a kind of revolt that the consumers may decide to revolt and may lead to an unrest in the society. It also will cause a kind of decrease in the consumption of electricity, knowing fully well that the price, as a matter of fact, is being hiked based on meter because it's estimated. Mr. President, it can also lead to an increase in theft of electricity within our society. And if it is as a result of unmetered consumption, people can find a source of how to connect this power to themselves. Mr. President, finally, is going to have what we call a negative impact on the economy. How? It's going to be retrogressive because a lot of people may not work directly with what it used to be on power. Mr. President, I wholeheartedly support this motion that the increase in power as a result of metered situations should not be put in place. However, they are still contemplating. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, distinguished Senator Mbigi. Let me thank my brothers, distinguished Abbas, for bringing this motion, and I can see that there is a preponderance of support for the motion. It doesn't seem as if there is any senator who is opposed to the motion. So in view of the things we have today, can we go straight to the prayers? Prayer 1. Call on the federal government of Nigeria to stand down the idea of increase in electricity tariff by withdrawing subsidy. Is there? Yes, it seems Senator Plan. Amendment, yes.
Mr. Speaker and my colleagues, I used to be in the House of Assembly. I'm so sorry. I'm not yet out. The President of the Senate, my dear colleagues, I would wish to move an amendment on the first prayer. The first prayer is call on the federal government to stand down the idea of increase in electricity tariff. I wish that we stop at that place instead of bringing in anything to do with withdrawal of subsidy. I wish to move that motion because entering into the issue of subsidy does not arise, but federal government should stand down the idea of increase in electricity tariff and full stop. I so move, sir.
Is any support? Yes, distinguished Senator Yaradua.
Thank you, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Senator Plank. I so second, Mr. President.
Dismissed colleagues, prayer 1 is amended by motion proposed by dismissed Senator Plank and seconded by dismissed Senator Yaradua. Those who are in support of the amended prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So prayer 1 now reads, call on the federal government of Nigeria to stand down the increase in electricity, the idea of increase in electricity tariff, full stop. Those in support of this prayer as amended once again say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2, mandate the Committee on Power. The chairman did not make any contribution. To investigate the over 2 trillion naira subsidy requirements as stated by the Minister of Power to avoid the repeat of fuel subsidy scenario and the statement made by the Honourable Minister with regards to the 1.3 trillion naira the ministry is said to have been owing generating companies and $1.3 billion said to be owed to gas companies. Honorable Chairman of Power, this is Senator Baribe. This is saying that they had the Minister of Power talking about subsidy and requiring 2 trillion. And then, of course, also making statements and allusions to the fact that it requires 1.3 trillion naira to pay generating gencos, and also $1.3 billion to pay gas companies. And the request of the mover of the motion is that the Committee on Power should immediately swing into action and investigate these allusions by the Minister of Power. Those in support of this prayer 2, sub A, that the Power Committee of the Senate should immediately investigate this and report back to the Senate, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 2 weeks. Prayer 2, sub B. Investigate the role of Ministry of Power, DEC, Ziglax Company on their roles in the failed agreement to provide prepaid meters and ensure Nigeria is not shortchanged. But we just changed that to say that Nigerians are not shortchanged. Those in favor of sub B say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk. C, engage the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to come up with lasting solution to the energy bill. C, engage the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to come up with lasting solution to the energy billing system in the country and other related issues therein. Those in support of 2C say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. D, find out the truth of the matter with regards to the issue of federal government directive and release of funds for mass prepaid metering and report findings to the Senate. Is there anybody that wishes to rephrase this? Otherwise, those in support of prayer D say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer E, to enforce and ensure the judicious utilization of the 10.5 billion naira penalty imposed on the discos. Those in favor of prayer E say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer F, investigate the operations of discos to ascertain the current status of metering and their extent of compliance with relevant legal and regulatory frameworks in service delivery. Those in favor of prayer F say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 3, direct the NEC to furnish the committee with relevant documents of metering of electricity consumers, post-privatization requirements for the operation of discos, and evidence of regulatory actions taken to ensure statutory compliance by discos. Those in favor of prayer 3 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 4, direct the NEC to ensure the implementation of energy caps by all discos to unmetered customers in the country. Those in favor of prayer 4 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Direct the committee to submit a comprehensive report for further legislative action within 3 weeks. Those in favor of prayer 5 say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. Let me thank the senior Senator Aminu Abbas for bringing this to the fore, and most importantly thank our distinguished colleagues for their contributions and opposition to the idea of increasing electricity tariff at this time due to the current cost of things across the country and the sufferings of people. And Nigerians are very worried about the following increases in products across the country, and urge the Committee on Power to work closely with the Minister of Power to ensure that the resolutions of the Senate are respected in order to ameliorate and reduce any contemplated suffering on consumers of electricity in the country. So I thank you all for your contributions and for resolutions. We should also even have added that the legislative committee, the Committee on Legislative Compliance, should also ensure that these resolutions are complied with. Yes, distinguished Senator Ashiro.
Mr. President, distinguished Senator, I'm Senator Ashiru. I'm coming under Order 41 and 51. And I think I've previously discussed this issue with Mr. President on an urgent matter as related to security and price of
Yes, distinguished Senator Ashiru, this is still the same sitting that we started. This is not a new day. We are still in the sitting on Wednesday. And we had earlier taken the matter of public urgent importance, and I think we even stepped it down for distinguished Senator Nengi to proceed. So the Senate had already ruled on that. So you bring up your own, probably under Order 42, personal explanation, and we can slate it for another day for discussion. Distinguished Senator Nengi.
Thank you very much. My name is Senator Abdul Lingi, and I bring this matter before this very, very honorable House. Note that a devastating fire disaster has fallen the Asian South Central Market in my constituency of Bauchi State on the 14th of February 2024, resulting in a substantial loss of goods and property of my constituents. Recall, sir, that the South Central Market had for centuries been a hub of economic activity, serving as a crucial marketplace for both local businesses, sustaining the livelihood of the many communities around. The recent fire outbreak has not only disrupted the economic fabric of the community, Mr. President, but has also left countless families in dire need and distress, especially at this critical time. Mindful, therefore, in the light of this unfortunate event, I move that the Senate take a swift and decisive action to cause to provide immediate relief and support to the affected individuals and businesses in Mr. Emirate and its environs. Accordingly, therefore, the Senate resolved to commiserate with the victims of the unfortunate fire incidents. 2, direct the National Emergency Management Agency, PEMA, to, as a matter of urgency, send relief materials to the victim of the fire incident in Mr. Market. Direct the National Refugee Commission to further assist in this endeavor, as Misau is a refugee resettlement center arising from the Boko Haram activities in the neighboring states of Borno and Yobe states, for immediate relief to the affected families and businesses, ensuring that they have access to essential needs as food, shelter, and medical assistance. 4, call on the Northeast Development Commission, which also superintends the northeastern part of this country, to further offer their support in this regard. Urge the state and local government to ensure a thorough investigation in the course of this fire, ensuring accountability for any negligence or wrongdoing. This will serve to prevent further disasters and provide justice to those affected. Number 6, further urge the state and local government to allocate funds for the reconstruction, rehabilitation of the central market, facilitating the civil recovery of local businesses, and of course, restoring the economic vitality of the aforementioned community. Call for community engagement with the affected community, providing counseling and support to help them rebuild their lives and businesses. Call on distinguished senators tonight, in solidarity with the people of Mr. Emirate during this challenging time, demonstrating our commitment to the well-being and prosperity of our constituents. Mr. President, I so move.
Distinguished Senator Alaji. It's working.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Senator Ningi on the fire incidents that happened in Misau. I also will want you to permit me to use the opportunity to commiserate with Senator Ningi and the people of Misau Emirate. From what we have heard, we thank God there is no loss of life, but the loss, the havoc left behind by the fire is so momentous, more especially during this our trying period, when most people find it a bit difficult to lay food on their table. So for anybody to have lost what he has labored within a swift of time needs attention of the authorities that be and the well-meaning Nigerians. So in a short, Mr. President, I will want to commiserate and sympathize with Ningi and his people and assure them that we are with him and his people, and at the same time call on the federal government to look in all the prayers we are likely to pass for the immediate alleviation of whatever suffering these people will encounter. I so second, Mr. President.
The twin senator is here. The twin senator is here. Are you contributing to the motion?
Mr. President, I would, without much ado, support the motion talking about the fire incident in Misau market of Bauchi State. And I would urge my colleagues to please lend their support to this motion. Thank you very much.
Distinguished Senator Ipalibo Banigo.
Mr. Senate President, distinguished colleagues, Ipalibo Harry Banigo, representing Rivers Senatorial West. I rise to support this motion, very, very pathetic motion on the urgent action, need for urgent action and intervention in the aftermath of the inferno that took place in the markets in Bauchi State. I can imagine that most of our women there must have lost their wares, the things they sell, the things they make a small living from. And that's how much that will touch and affect their families and their children. And so it is such an issue that we really need to pay urgent attention, that such should not happen again. There should be preventive measures in the markets to ensure that anytime any such thing is about to happen, it can be curtailed immediately and does not get to that level, this level that it has done. So I want to support and agree with the motion, and to say that while commiserating with the victims of this inferno, that we urge the various agencies of government, including the Bauchi state government and federal government, to step in immediately and do the needful to curtail the woes and the sorrows of the people there, and also to put in preventive measures, make sure that such infernos do not happen again. I so submit.
Thank you. Distinguished Senator Zango Dara. Yes, you are contributing on the motion by Senator Nengi on this inferno that occurred in Misau, the fire incident.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Nasiru Sanizangondora, representing Katsina North Senatorial District. I rise to add my voice to condole and commiserate with the people of Misau. The unfortunate inferno happened, and as Senator Ningi has proffered, it is important that all the agencies that can render the assistance required are engaged to immediately provide the necessary succor to the people of Misau. Senator Ningi, on our behalf and my own constituents, I would like to extend our most sincere commiserations and to say that we feel what the people of Misau are also feeling. Thank
From there? But your wife is not in the market, so let's finish. So let's go straight into the prayers. Prayer 1, commiserate with the victims of the unfortunate fire incidents in Misau. Those in support of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2, direct the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to send relief materials to the victims of the fire incident in Misau Market. Those in support of this prayer 2 say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 3, direct the National Refugees Commission to come to the aid of the Misau people, particularly those in the market, to immediately send relief materials to the affected families and businesses, ensuring that they have access to essential needs at a time like this. Those in support of this prayer 3 say aye, those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 4, call on the Northeast Development Commission to further offer their support in this regard. Those in support of this prayer 4 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 5, urge the Bauchi State Government to ensure a thorough investigation into... Yes, amendment.
Well, my amendment is all the Nigerian police to ensure a thorough investigation into the cause of the inferno. Inferno, Nigerian police, and indeed, and fire service, police and fire service. Well, I don't Nigerian police alone, because they are federal establishment like us, and we are National Assembly. So I think we should relate with Nigerian police directly. So Nigerian police should investigate. Yeah, state. Oh, sorry. Mr. President, Nigerian police and federal fire service. The Nigerian police and federal fire service to investigate.
This is Senator Oladere.
Conduct. Thank you, Mr. President, the single colleagues. My name is Olalere Oyewumi. I represent also West. I stand to second the motion, the amendment raised by the Deputy Senate President. I so second.
The single colleagues, prayer 5 is amended to read all the Nigerian police force and the Nigerian Federal Fire Services to ensure a thorough investigation into the immediate and remote causes of the inferno. Those in support of prayer 5 as amended say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So the clerk, the word Bauchi State Government is removed and replaced with Nigerian Police and then the Nigerian Fire Services. Yes. And then prayer 6. Now urge the Bauchi State government to allocate funds for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of the Misao Central Market, facilitating the swift recovery of local businesses, restoring the economic vitality of the community. Yes, amendment.
My amendment is this: urge the Senate Committee on Appropriations to allocate funds for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of the Misao Central Market. Senate Committee on Appropriations, yes. During next appropriation something, they should allocate money. We are not a state government.
Any seconder to the amendment? No seconder. Let me. The reason why there was no seconder from the floor is that there is no budget before us. So, there's no budget before us. Are you talking about 2025 budget? There is no budget before us. So where will appropriate money from? There is no budget. Okay, Deputy Senate President. Maybe as a former chairman of appropriation, maybe you have an idea.
Mr. President, Senator, we need to solidarize. We need to, show solidarity to Senator.
Your wife is from Misao.
Okay, the federal government, if you want to say so. The federal government to allocate funds for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of the Misao Central Market, facilitating the swift recovery of local businesses and restoring economic vitality of the community. Why are you against? You are
seconder. Yes, Senator Amuro, you said yes. You raised your hand. Are you seconding?
No. I'm actually not seconding, Mr. President. This is not a federal market, and we should not set a precedent that we cannot sustain.
The leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my take on this is we should only pass laws or resolutions that are enforceable. We cannot call on Bauchi State government to allocate funds. Bauchi State has its own House of Assembly. We make laws for the Federal Republic of Nigeria and for the Federal Capital Territory, to which we act as State House of Assembly. So, if you are going to be involved in this, the only reasonable and enforceable resolution to pass will be to call on federal government to make funds available. It could even be from its service-wide vote. We don't have to wait till the next budgetary cycle. We can call on federal government to make funds available from the service-wide vote. I so submit.
The leader, I can imagine your plight, struggling to support your neighbor. but if you look at the body of the prayers, we have already called on the federal government twice. One, we call on the federal government through NEMA to immediately make relief materials available. Then we also call on the federal government through Northeast Development Commission that even has the power to ensure reconstruction and rehabilitation. And then I think we even call on the federal government a third time to ensure relief materials are sent from the Refugee Commission. We have done so much for the market because we are very concerned. Now, asking that federal government should go and construct a market actually in the constitution belongs to the local governments. So, if, and we are not, yes, what I'm saying, yes, that's what I was telling you. No, your point is well taken. Your point is noted. We can't call on the state government, but I'm saying we've already called on the federal government 3 times. Even Senator Ningi is very happy that with what we have done. And the people of Misau are very happy. Where the 3 agencies of the federal government react positively to our resolutions. Well, since the DSP is an in-law of Misau and is very concerned, we can say call on the relevant agencies of the federal government to ensure rehabilitation of this market and reconstruction immediately, without naming the particular agency. So, is there anybody who would like to put it the way the chair has put it? Senator Kau, I'm sure you were listening to us. Yes, so please reconstruct that last prayer for us. You will second the reconstructed prayer. So, Deputy Senate President, reconstruct the prayer for him to second.
I move that the last prayer be amended to read as follows: that all relevant agencies of the federal government should move in to ensure the reconstruction and rehabilitation of the Misau Central Market, facilitating the swift recovery of local businesses and restoring the economic vitality of the community. I so move.
So the amendment is noted, and Senator Kau, do you wish to second the prayer as amended?
Mr. President, my dear colleagues, I am Suleiman Abraman Kau Sumaila, representing Kano South Senatorial District, NNPP from Kano. Mr. President, I am hereby seconded as a prayer as amended by Deputy Senate President Senator Barrow I. Jibrin. I so second.
This week's prayer 6 has been amended by the Deputy Senate President and seconded by distinguished Senator Kau. Those who are in support of the amended prayer 6 say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me thank distinguished Senator Ningi for again bringing the plight of the Misau people to the fore, and to say that yes, indeed, we commiserate with them as a Senate, and then we pray that all the relevant agencies so mentioned will react swiftly to ameliorate the plight of the people and reduce the sufferings of the people, particularly at a time like this, when we are struggling to make sure that we resuscitate the entire economy of the country for the benefit of all Nigerians. So our prayers are with the victims of the incident. Thank God, no loss of lives, but they lost their properties and their livelihoods, and soon succor will come to them. So we sympathize with them. Yes, distinguished Senator Ashiru.
Mr. President, I'm Senator Ashiru. I'm passionately coming under 42 on my motion on issue of need to urgently address the indiscriminate rise of cement prices and other building materials in Nigeria.
Yes, please, you can read Order 42, read.
Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward, nor may debate, nor be reduced upon the explanation. The terms of the personal statement shall be submitted in detail to the President of Senate when his leave to make it is sought. Mr. President, I've previously discussed this matter with you. Not only today, I think yesterday I discussed it too. And I have the passionate feeling that it's very, very important, especially to our building industry, the building industry that employs millions of workers. My fear is that if you are not careful about this, if you throw out so many people out of job because of the effect of building material.
Well, distinguished senators, since Order 42 says, by the indulgence of the Senate and also by leave of the Senate President, I think it's very clear that we can, if the Senate so pleases, we can allow distinguished Senator Ashiru, one of our leaders, to make this personal explanation in respect of this cement issue. Is it the view of the Senate that he be allowed to proceed? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So you can go ahead and explain your motion.
Yeah, just wait it. Thank you very much, Mr. Senate President. Need to urgently address the indiscriminate rise of cement prices and other building materials in Nigeria. Note that the construction industry is vital for infrastructure development and economic growth. Heavily relies on cement and other building materials for its sustenance. Further note that importance of cement in construction industry cannot be overstated because cement is mainly used as a binder in concrete, which is a basic material for all types of construction, including housing, road, schools, hospitals, dams, and ports. Worried that the recent trend of an almost daily increase in the price of the product has severely hampered progress in various developmental endeavors across the country because key building materials, particularly cement and iron rod prices, are now sold at prohibitive rates, with cement and iron rod recently rising from 5,500 per bag in January 2024 to about 15,000 and 8,500 to 17,000 respectively. Further worried that the sudden and steep price increase is having a detrimental impact on critical infrastructure, housing, and our own consistency projects across the country because contractors undertaking various forms of construction are faced with significant higher material costs, thereby slowing down the progress on important developmental projects. Also worried that these top projects are leading to the loss of means of livelihood for millions of Nigerians employed in building and construction industry, especially the Nigerian youth, which make it directly impacts on casual laborers, skilled tradesmen, contractors, and more who depend on construction works. Concerned that high youth unemployment has historically been linked to increase in crime and national security issues. Aware that raw materials for cement production are sourced 100% locally, not imported, making this sudden surge in prices suspicious and perplexing. Cognizant that available cement and other building materials are indispensable to national development, addressing the issue on time will be advantageous to the construction industry because it will ensure the progress of constituency projects and also strengthen national security by providing jobs and stability and improve the livelihood of Nigerians generally. Accordingly resolved to mandate the Senate Committee on Industry to conduct an investigation into the activities of cement manufacturer companies operating within Nigeria with a view of ascertaining whether market manipulation or monopolistic practice are the reasons behind the price hikes, and report back to the Senate within 2 weeks. Mandate the Senate Committee in Industry to ensure that cement manufacturer companies all adhere strictly to fair market practice and desist from uncompetitive prices. Encourage the federal government to allow importation of cement as a stopgap measure. Urge the Ministry of Works to permit the use of asphaltic bitumen for road construction in addition to cement and concrete. Urge the Senate to issue any further directives as may be deemed necessary in the circumstance. I've come under Order 41 and 51 of our rules to enable us discuss the matter today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Leader of the Senate. The distinguished Senator Shiru came under Order 42, and no debate may arise, but he also brought a few controversial issues. So I want you to, for me, your explanation is noted. No debate. No prayer. You have explained what you wanted to explain. It's personal explanation. No debate. And your explanation is noted. Leader of the Senate. Well, let me just make a referral to the clerk of the Senate from the President, Commander-in-Chief, the distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON, Senate President, National Assembly Complex, dear Senate President, confirmation of appointment of Director / CEO of Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, NFIU. In accordance with the provisions of Section 5, Subsection 1, Part 3 of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit NFIU Act 2018, I am pleased to present for confirmation by the Senate the appointment of Hafsat Abubakar Bakari as Director and Chief Executive Officer of Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. The distinguished Senate is invited to note that Hafsat Abubakar Bakari is to fill the vacancy created by the exit of the immediate past Director, Chief Executive Officer of the NFIU, whose tenure expired on 31st day of January 2024. While hoping that this request will receive expeditious consideration of the Nigerian Senate, please accept, distinguished Senate President and distinguished Senators, the assurances of my highest consideration. This is signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The clerk. The screening is referred to the Committee on National Security and Intelligence to revert to us within 1 week. This Senator Abbas, I didn't know you are in APC. Even where you are talking from is APC wing. You are in APC now. And so if you have been given a seat by the clerk of the Senate, proceed to speak as an APC senator. Then if you are not APC senator, return to your seat. No, I actually encourage friendship. So yeah, it's welcome. Oh, you are also moving to that side. Thank you. You are welcome, please.
It's anti-corruption, not national security.
Not your seat. That is not your seat. The practice of the Senate is that you speak from your seat. So the NFIU nominee will also appear before the Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes. I think the distinguished chairman there is Senator Odende. Am I right? Distinguished Senator Odende, is he here? Okay, so please inform Odende, if he's not here, that he has to revert to us within 1 week. That is within. He can do it in 1 hour, he can do it in 1 day, but we want to see it before 1 week is over. The leader of the Senate, before Abbas says anything.
Mr. President, very distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the first business of the day is the presentation of a House bill standing in my name on the Chartered Institute of Agribusiness Management of Nigeria, Bill 2024 HB 138. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Chartered Institute of Agribusiness Management of Nigeria Bill 2024, HB 138, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Chartered Institute of Agribusiness Management of Nigeria Bill 2024, HB 138, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Akpoti Uduaghan Natasha on the Nigeria Cottage Industries Establishment Bill 2024 SB 354. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Nigeria Cottage Industries Establishment Bill 2024, SB 354, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Nigeria Cottage Industries Establishment Bill 2024, SB 354, first reading taken. Clerk of the Senate. Leader of the Senate, rather.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Katun Sunday Marshall on the Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2024, SB 355. Mr. President,
you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2024, SB 355, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2024, SB 355, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the fourth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Abbas Aminu Iya on the Federal University of Education Technical Hong, Adamawa State Establishment Bill 2024, SB 356. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Federal University of Education Technical Hong, Adamawa State Establishment Bill 2024, SB 356, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Federal University of Education Technical Hong, Adamawa State Establishment Bill 2024, SB 356, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the fifth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Mongunu Mohammed Tahir on the National Environmental Health and Sanitation Agency Establishment Bill 2024, SB 357. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, National Environmental Health and Sanitation Agency Establishment Bill 2024, SB 357, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, National Environmental Health and Sanitation Agency Establishment Bill 2024, SB 357, first reading taken. The Senate Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary on the screening of Dr. Kelechi Ohiri for appointment as the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority. Distinguished senators will recall that the request of Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief was referred to the committee on Wednesday, 14th February 2024. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Banigo Ipalibo Hari, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Distinguished Senator Banigo Ipalibo Hari.
Mr. Senate President, distinguished colleagues, Ipalibo Hari Banigo, representing Rivers Senatorial West, I move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary on the confirmation of the nomination of Dr. Kelechi Ohiri as the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority. I so move.
Senator Dafinone.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. Ide Dafinone, representing Delta Central. I rise to second the support for the report on the Committee on Health as presented by Senator Banigo. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the report, the committee chairman has moved, and the report, the motion seconded, that he should be allowed to tender this report for consideration. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished Senator Banigo, you may now proceed to lay your report. You may proceed to present your report.
Senate President, distinguished colleagues, thank you for the opportunity. The Senate at its sitting on Wednesday, 14th of February 2024, considered the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for confirmation of the appointment of a nominee, Dr. Kelechi Ohiri, as Director General, National Health Insurance Authority, and referred to Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary, for further legislative action. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the confirmation request is in line with constitutional requirements which empower the President to appoint persons subject to the confirmation of the Senate and in accordance with the provision of Section 40, Sub 1 of the National Health Insurance Authority Act 2022. Membership of the committee is as stated. I go on to read the committee action and methodology. Following the Senate's resolution, the committee requested and received from the nominee the following relevant documents: curriculum vitae, degree certificates, tax clearance, code of conduct acknowledgement slip for assets declaration, and other relevant documents. The nominee, Dr. Kelechi Ohiri, appeared before the committee on Tuesday, 20th February 2024, in meeting room 211, Senate New Building of the National Assembly at 2 p.m. The committee invited the nominee for screening, as well as distinguished senators from his state of origin, namely Senators Osita Izunaso, Oyewuchi Ezenwa Francis, and Chiuba Indeweze Patrick.
I want to thank you and your committee members. Can we go to the findings?
From the documents made available to the committee, the nominee satisfied the requirements for appointment into the public service. The nominee is very well experienced and adequately exposed at the top international and domestic levels, and has the capacity to function as Director General, National Health Insurance Authority. The committee did not receive any petition against the nominee. The nominee was cleared by the Department of State Services and possesses the Code of Conduct acknowledgement slip. The nominee is a fit and proper person to serve as the Director General of NHIA. Recommendation. The Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary, having screened and satisfied itself that the nominee had the qualifications, expertise, experience, and exposure expected of an occupant of such a demanding office, hereby recommends that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Dr. Kelechi Ohiri as Director General, National Health Insurance Authority. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, on behalf of the Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary, I wish to express our appreciation to the Senate leadership and indeed the entire Senate for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you. Any comments? Yes, distinguished Senator Ezenwa, the voice of the gods.
Thank you, Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Ezenwa Onyewuchi, and I represent Imo East Senatorial District. Mr. President, let me start by thanking and commending the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for making this wonderful appointment, bringing a round peg to being a round hole. Mr. Kelechi Ohiri comes from a rich academic and professional background. He's not just a medical doctor from what we have seen. He's also vast in public health and health management. Mr. President, I do not have any doubt in my mind that Mr. Ohiri will effectively drive the vision of Mr. President in the area of health management as it concerns the national health insurance. I therefore strongly and very strongly support that he be given the opportunity to drive the vision to reposition the National Health Insurance Authority. I so submit, Mr. President.
Thank you. I think it's very straightforward, and I want to also join you to thank the members of this committee, the chair lady and the members for a wonderful job done, and to say that yes, indeed, we've seen the clearance, and we will now proceed to request the Senate to do the needful. So, Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I move that the Senate resolve into a committee of the whole to enable us to consider this report. I so move, Mr. President.
Minority Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to second the motion that the Senate do revert to committee of the whole, dissolve into the committee of the whole to consider the report. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those who are in support of the motion as moved and second, they say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. So we resolve into committee of the whole. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Kelechi Ohiri for appointment as the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Kelechi Ohiri for appointment as the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority is hereby approved. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, I move that the Senate reverse to plenary to enable the President sitting as chair report progress. I so move.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that the Senate do revert to plenary for the chair to give progress report. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this Senate do revert to plenary for the chair to report progress. Those who are in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary on the screening of Mr. President nominee for appointment as the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, and approved the nomination of Dr. Kelechi Ohiri as the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Yes. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Kelechi Ohiri for appointment as the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority? Those in favor of the confirmation say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Kelechi Ohiri is hereby confirmed as the Director General of the National Health Insurance Authority. So let me once again thank the Committee on Education, Secondary and Tertiary, and all the committee members, the Committee on Health, and all the members of that committee, secondary and tertiary health institutions, for a wonderful job. And pray that, and congratulate the nominee, the new Director General, and wish him a wonderful and resourceful stay as Director General of NHIA. And hope that he will continue to add his wisdom and expertise to the service of the nation in moving the health sector forward. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the second order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on National Identity Card and Population on the confirmation of the nominations of 19 persons as listed on the order paper for appointment as commissioners for the National Population Commission. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Ahmed Abdul Ningi, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
The minority leader, this will only be for consideration because Senator Ningi had presented this yesterday and the Senate stepped it down for consideration today. So you may wish to amend the motion, the leader, that we should proceed straight into consideration of the report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so amend.
The minority leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I wish to second the motion that the Senate do revert to the committee, do resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider the report. I so second.
Yes. Distinguished colleagues, those who are in support of the motion as moved and amended, say aye. And then those against say nay. The ayes have it. So, distinguished Senator Ningi, is there anything you may wish to add outside what you did yesterday?
Yeah, just a little introduction, Mr. President of the Senate. My name is Senator Abdul Ningi, and I represent Bauchi Central, Bauchi State, and the chairman of this committee. The Senate will call on a sitting on Tuesday, the 12th of December, actually refer this particular matter to our committee, and we went into action and tried to come up with a very quick resolution of the certification or affirmation of the nominees of the president through some methodology in terms of curriculum vitae, task clearance, code of conduct clearance, police report, or any other petition therein, and physical appearance. In both circumstances, all of the nominee, 19 of them, you recall, you referred to 19, but only 17 appeared. The two nominees, one from Ondo and the other from Ogun, we were informed the no-show of one had taken an appointment with the state government, the other has won a by-election. Consequently, therefore, the committee, based on documentation presented to it on each of the nominees, found that the nominees possessed the minimum educational qualification required for the appointment as commissioners. The committee has not received any petition or any criminal indictment on the 17 nominees. So it should be noted that out of the 19, we have been able to screen 17 as follows. The nominee one, Emmanuel Trump Ike, who represented Abia, appeared on screen. Dr. Clefo Zira Adamawa appeared on the screen. Mr. Chidi Christopher Iziako from Anambra appeared on the screen. Barrister Isa Audu Brutai appeared on the screen and confirmed was screened. Bishop Alex Ukam, the former honorable member of the House of Reps, my colleague, also appeared on the screen. Mrs. from Cross Rivers, Mrs. Blessing Brume Ataguba appeared and screened from Delta. Dr. Jeremiah Obuna Wakegu from Yevonyi appeared, was screened. From Yevonyi, Dr. Tony Aijina appeared, was screened from Yodo. Mr. Ijeke Eze from Enugu also appeared, screened from Enugu State. Mr. Abubakar Dambram appeared, screened from Gombe. Professor Uban Negu from Imo appeared, was screened. Mrs. Ada Tudogan Bauchi Garba, representing Kaduna, also appeared and was screened. Dr. Aminu Ibrahim Senyawa, representing Kano, also appeared, was screened. Honorable Yuri Afolabi, representing Kogi, also appeared and was screened. Mrs. Mary Ishaya Afan, representing Plateau, also appeared and was screened. Mr. Sani Sali, Mr. Sani Sali, representing Taraba, also appeared, was screened. Finally, Mr. Ogiri Itotinan Henry, representing Rivers, also appeared, was screened. Took a diligent time, and we feel these are worthy nominees to be confirmed by the Senate, Mr. President. I so submit.
Senate Leader, may I move a motion for us to consider.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate resolves into a committee of the whole to enable us consider this report. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion as ably moved by the Senate leader. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that we resolve in the committee of the whole to consider the report as submitted by distinguished Senator Nengi and his committee members. Those in support of the motion say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. We resolve into committee of the whole. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Honorable Emmanuel Trump Eke, representing Abia State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Clifford Zira, representing Adamawa State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Mr. Chidi Christopher Ezeoke, representing Anambra State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Barrister Isa Audu Buratai, representing Borno State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Bishop Alex Okam, representing Cross River State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate, distinguished colleagues, approve the nomination of Ms. Blessing Brume Ataguba, representing Delta State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor of the approval say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Jeremiah Obonna Nwakwegu, representing Ebonyi State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Tony Ejina, representing Edo State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Ejike Eze, representing Enugu State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Abubakar Damburam, representing Gombe State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Professor Oba Nabua, representing Imo State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Saadatu Dogon Bauchi Garba, representing Kaduna State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Aminu Ibrahim Zanjawa? Yes, I pronounce it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Dr. Aminu Ibrahim Zanjawa, representing Kano State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Honorable Yuri Afolabi, representing Kogi State, for appointment as National Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor of the approval say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We have stepped down Olakunle Sobukola and Temitayo Oluwati in view of the developments as stated by the committee chairman and committee members. So, will the Senate now approve the nomination of Ms. Mary Ishaya Afan, representing Plateau State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. I can see Senator Plank approving with his two hands akimbo. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Mrs. Zana Saleh? Mrs. Sani? Zani. Okay, Mrs. Sani Saleh, representing Taraba State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Mr. Ogiri Henry, representing Rivers State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President, sitting as chair. Distinguished colleagues, I move that the Senate revert to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so moved.
Okay, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that the Senate do revert to plenary to enable chair report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate, in the Committee of the Whole, considered the report of the Committee on National Identity Card and National Population on the screening of Mr. President's nominees for appointment as Commissioners for National Population Commission, NPC, and approved the nominations of Honorable Emmanuel Trump Eke, Abia State, Dr. Clifford Zira, Adamawa State, Mr. Chidi Christopher Ezoke, Anambra State, Barrister Isa Audu Buratai, Borno State, Bishop Alex Hukam, Cross River State, Ms. Blessing Brume Ataguba, Ebonyi State, Delta State, Dr. Jeremiah Obonna Nwagigu, Ebonyi State, Dr. Tony Ayejina, Edo, Mr. Ejike Eze, Enugu State, Mr. Abubakar Damburam, Gombe State, Professor Oba Nabue, Imo State, Ms. Sadiatu Dogon Bauchi Garba, Kaduna State, Dr. Aminu Ibrahim Zanjawa, Kano State, Ms. Right Honorable Yuri Afolabi, Kogi State. Also, Ms. Mary Ishaya Afan was approved for Plateau State, Ms. Zani Saleh for Taraba State, Mr. Ogiri Henry for Rivers State, as commissioners for National Population Commission. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mr. Emmanuel Trump-Eke, representing Abia State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Honorable Emmanuel Eke, representing Abia State, is hereby confirmed as Commissioner for the National Population Commission. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Clifford Zira, representing Adamawa State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Clifford Zira, representing Adamawa State, is hereby confirmed as Commissioner for the National Population Commission. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve will the Senate confirm the nomination of Chidi Christopher Ezoke, representing Anambra State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor of the confirmation say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Chidi Christopher Ezoke. Colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mary Ishaya Afan, representing Plateau State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Ms. Mary Ishaya Afan, representing Plateau State, is hereby confirmed as Commissioner for the National Population Commission. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mr. Sani Saleh, representing Taraba State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Sani Saleh, representing Taraba State, is hereby confirmed as Commissioner for the National Population Commission. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mr. Ogiri Henry, representing Rivers State, for appointment as Commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Ogiri Henry, representing Rivers State, is hereby confirmed as Commissioner for the National Population Commission. Let me thank distinguished Senator Ningi and members of the Senate Committee on National Identity Card and National Population for a wonderful job. And we look forward to concluding the remaining states as soon as possible. Thank Mr. President for bringing worthy sons and daughters of the soil to serve in in this all-important commission that will undertake the national census and ensure that we have the right data for the development of the nation, to plan for the development of the nation. I want to thank the senators for their contributions and also congratulate all those nominees who have been confirmed today by the Senate and wish them well in the service of their fatherland. I thank you all. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the third order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Foreign Affairs on the confirmation of the nominations of confirmation and nomination of persons as listed on the order paper for appointment as chairman and members of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Bello Sani Abubakar, chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Distinguished Senator Sani Bello Abubakar Jr.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am Abubakar Sani Bello, representing Niger North Senatorial District. Mr. President, I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Foreign Affairs on the confirmation of the nomination of the following persons as chairman and members of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON. They are Jalal Arabi as chairman, Abdul Razak as Commissioner Policy, Personnel and Finance, Prince Anofiu Elegushi as Commissioner Operations, Professor Abubakar A. Yagawal as Commissioner Planning and Research. Mr. President, with your permission, I so move. Yes, I will get it. He has to give me permission.
Distinguished Senator Ndume.
Mr. Chairman, Senate President, my distinguished colleagues, I'm Senator Mohamed Ali Ndume. I am standing to second the motion moved by the Chairman, Foreign Affairs Committee. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion to lay the report by the Chairman of Foreign Affairs has been moved and seconded by the Chief Whip of the Nigerian Senate. Those who are in support of the motion as moved and seconded say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may proceed to lay the report. The chairman summarize your report.
Mr. President, the Senate, at its sitting on Tuesday, the 13th of February 2024, considered the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on the confirmation of the underlisted 4 persons as appointments as chairman and members of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. They are Jalal Arabi as chairman, Aliyu Abdurazak, Commissioner Personnel, Planning and Finance, Prince Anofio Elegushi as Commissioner Operations, Professor Abubakar Yagawal as Commissioner Planning and Research. The Senate consequently referred the assignment to this committee in accordance with its rules via the letter from the Clerk of the Senate with reference NASS 105R01145 dated 14th February 2024 for further legislative action. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, members of the committee, you will find attached in your report. I will go straight to committee's actions and methodology. Mr. President, the committee requested the Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly matters to forward the following documents of the nominees: the curriculum vitae, relevant certificates and credentials, security clearance, code of conduct acknowledgement slip, and their tax clearance. Okay, Mr. President, I will skip screening. I'll go to requirements for appointments. All the nominees acquired the minimum standard of education that qualified them for appointment as chairman and members of the National Hajj Commission, NACON. They were cleared by security agencies and they presented their tax clearances as well as code of conduct acknowledgement slips. Resumes, you find summaries in your report. I will go straight to with your permission, okay. Screening and interactions with the nominees. The committee interviewed the nominees in line with the criteria contained in the Constitution, the Senate rules, NACON Act, and the principles of the committee. The nominees responded satisfactorily to questions asked by committee members relating to their previous experiences and reflected in their curriculum vitae and in relation to their nominations as chairman and commissioners of the National Hajj Commission. Findings: at the end of the screening exercise of the nominees, the committee's findings are as follows: that their nominations are in line with Section 3, Subsection 2 of the National Hajj Commission Act, that the committee did not receive any petition against their nominations as chairman and commissioners of the National Hajj Commissions of Nigeria, that the nominees have been cleared by the security agencies, that the nominees have presented their tax clearances and code of conduct slips, that the nominees possess the requisite academic qualifications as well as experiences to be chairman and commissioner of National Hajj Commission, and that the nominees were very articulate and meticulous in their responses to the questions directed at them. Therefore, the committee recommends as follows: 1, that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Jalal Ahmed Arabi for appointment as chairman, National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON. 2, that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Aliyu Abdul Razak for appointment as Commissioner, Policy, Personnel and Finance, National Hajj Commission. 3, that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Prince Anofio Elegushi for appointment as Commissioner Operations, National Hajj Commission. And finally, that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Professor Abubakar A. Yagawal for appointment as Commissioner Planning and Research of NACON. We so move. Thank you, Mr. President.
So let me thank the chairman for the presentation of the report and request Senator Ningi to say a word.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Abdul Ningi. First and foremost, let me thank the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the presentation of these very unique individuals. I've been a little bit distracted by my right hand here. Some people are debating. And I want to, These are individuals.
Nasarawa gang.
These are individuals, Mr. President, that I believe that the President took time to scrutinize them and nominate them for this very important assignment. But having said that, it is important for this body to understand Nigeria occupies the 5th largest Muslim community in the world, the very first in Africa. So that underscores the importance of a board like this. Mr. President, over time, the National Hajj Commission in the last 2 decades, I'm not being able to deliver the deliverables for Nigerians during the Hajj exercise. And I'm very positive that going forward, we'll have a change of heart, because these are people, particularly number one, who has been a friend, a colleague, Jalal Ahmed Arabi, and has been a thoroughbred bureaucrat. I saw also is Elogoshi and Abdurazak. I think they need to understand where the president is coming from. They need to tune their energy, their mindset, as the only reason why they are appointed in this, in making sure that Hajj is a cardinal, fundamental principle in the Islamic doctrine. And therefore, when Nigerians go to Hajj, they should be able to provide the basic services for them, making sure that Nigerians are not arrested anyhow, Nigerians are not intimidated anyhow, Nigerians are not discriminated anyhow. Sir, over the years, we have seen some of this interplay during Hajj. And you see Nigerians in a dire need for some services. But you look around left and center, there is nobody to cater for them. So I believe these are right people at the right time, and I pray that they will not disappoint the president who actually saw them out. They are not the only competent Nigerians, but the president, in his own wisdom, decided to give them a chance. They should not disappoint him, disappoint Nigerians, and also the Senate. And I'm sure the Senate will look forward to making sure that they remain steadfast in their responsibility as board members. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. This is Senator Kawu.
Mr. President, my dear distinguished colleagues, I am Suleiman Abraman Kawu Sumaila, representing Kano South Senatorial District, Mr. President, from Kano. Mr. President, I am highly delighted when we received the nomination or the communication from Mr. President, going by the caliber of the people and the modality, the approach which Mr. President and of course executive followed in nominating this kind of people, more especially as the chairman and of course our teacher, Professor Abubakar Yagawal from Sokoto. They are very exceptional in their own profession, who more especially as a professor who started from the scratch teacher in primary school to the level of professor for 30 years, professor of Arabic. Appointing this kind of a fellow into this position, it will add value because of the way he understood and he interrelated with the Arab world. He will add value, and inshallah, from the way Mr. President consulted widely, I was approached by so many interest groups to support this nomination, more especially this professor, because Mr. President consulted the body of one of the most important interest group in Nigeria, in Muslim world. I think I must commend the committee, the Senate, and the entire Senate for considering and deeming it fit to approve this nomination. I urge them to do their own best in bringing betterment to Hajj operation from this year to the subsequent time on their tenure as members of the Hajj Commission. I so submit, Mr. President.
Let me say that the fact that the Senate is one, the foundation that brought us here is not lost on me. So to see the applause and commendations emerging from the PDP wing and the NNPP wing of the Senate for Mr. President is very gratifying. This shows that Mr. President did very wide consultations before making some of these nominations that are now before us for screening, approval, and confirmation. So I want to thank distinguished Senator Ningim for his contributions. I want to thank distinguished Senator Kawu, and I want to thank also the chairman of the Committee on Foreign Affairs, my brother, His Excellency, distinguished Senator Junior Sani Bello, for a wonderful job. And to now invite the Senate leader to call on the Senate to conclude this exercise.
Well, distinguished senators, I rise to move that the Senate resolves to the Committee of the Whole to enable us consider this report. Mr. President, I so move.
Minority Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that the Senate do resolve into a committee of the whole to consider the report. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this Senate do resolve into committee of the whole to conclude this Hajj Commission report. Those in favor of the motion say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. We resolve into committee of the whole. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Jalal Arabi as chairman, for appointment as chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Aliu Abdul Razak for appointment as Commissioner, Policy, Personnel and Finance of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria? Those in favor of the appointment say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate approve the nomination of Prince Anofio Eluguchi for appointment as Commissioner Operations of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, would the Senate approve the nomination of Professor Abubakar Yagawa for appointment as Commissioner Planning and Research of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria? Those in favor of the approval say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate revert to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so move, Mr.
Distinguished Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the Senate do revert to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that this August Assembly do revert to plenary for the chair to report progress. Those in support of the motion as seconded say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. We revert to plenary. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Foreign Affairs on the screening of Mr. President nominees for appointment as chairman and members of National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, and approved the nominations of Jalal Arabi as chairman, Aliu Abdulrazak as Commissioner, Policy, Personnel and Finance, Prince Onofio Eluguchi as Commissioner, Operations, Professor Abubakar Yagawa as Commissioner, Planning and Research. In totality, the four aforementioned are approved by the Senate as chairman and members of National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Yes. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Jalal Arabi for appointment as chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria? Those in favor of the confirmation say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Jalal Arabi is hereby confirmed as chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Aliu Abdulrazak as for appointment as Commissioner, Policy, Personnel and Finance of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Aliu Abdulrazak is hereby confirmed as Commissioner, Policy, Personnel and Finance of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Prince Anofio Eleguchi for appointment as Commissioner, Operations of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Prince Anofio Eleguchi is hereby confirmed as Commissioner, Operations of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, would the Senate confirm the nomination of Professor Abubakar Yagawal for appointment as Commissioner, Planning and Research of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Professor Abubakar A. Yagawal is hereby confirmed as Commissioner, Planning and Research of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. Let me very quickly commend the chairman of the Committee on Foreign Affairs and the members for a thorough job on these nominations presented by Mr. President. Further congratulate Mr. President and commend him for painstakingly producing men and women of integrity that have been presented today to this Senate, from National Population Commission to this House Commission, for screening, approval, and confirmation. And particularly thank the bipartisan manner in which the Senate has carried out these exercises, particularly the commendations to Mr. President from the APC, NMPP, ABGA, and all the other small parties, all the other small, SDP of Nasarawa State, and all the other smaller parties in Nigeria for a wonderful job done by Mr. President. And commend also the advisory role played by the APC senators in all the nominations presented before us. And then finally, thank all distinguished senators for painstakingly going through these exercises for the benefit of this country. And now wish the nominees who have been so confirmed today a wonderful stay in their offices, fruitful, and something that will bring glory to Nigeria and improve the lot of all Nigerians. I congratulate them and wish them well. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, the fourth order of the day is a House bill for concurrence as listed on the order paper. Distinguished senators will recall that this bill on the Southeast Development Commission was read the first time in this chamber on Thursday, 15 February 2024. Mr. President, for the simple nature of the bill and interchamber reciprocity, I will present a lead debate on the bill.
Senator Victor Ome.
May I proceed?
Read it first. He has called me, so do I wait? Mr. President, do I wait for him to present? Oh, I go on to second, okay. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Victor Ome. I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. I stand up to second.
Let the distinguished Senator Ome, let him present the lead debate, then thereafter you can join. Because I know he was very eager. This is Southeast. It's very important that we don't marginalize the Southeast. So the Senate leader, please just present the lead debate, and so that Senator Ome can take it from there. I know immediately after Senator Ome, Senator Abaribe is itching to talk.
Well, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, let me say that this is a very straightforward bill that does not really actually call for so much debate. Number two, this is a concurrence bill as well. It's a concurrence bill, and the essence of my own very short lead debate is just to provide the necessary information. Mr. President, respected colleagues, the bill was read for the first time on Thursday, 15 February 2024. The bill seeks to establish the Southeast Development Commission, charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage fund from allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effects of the Civil War, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental or developmental challenges in the Southeast states. Mr. President, respected colleagues, this bill went through rigorous legislative process, including public hearing in the House of Representatives, and was passed. Let me also add that the bill had also been passed in the 9th Senate. I therefore urge you all to support the second reading of this bill.
Well, the distinguished colleagues, this bill was passed in the 9th Senate. It has actually been passed in the House of Representatives. And if we don't have any objection to some of the provisions, I can allow one or two people to make comment, but don't just say it has been passed. It's concurrence, it's third reading. You know, we are doing, this is legislation. So we should, if we need to amend our rules in future, we do so to enable us not scrutinize. In fact, we have a right to add or subtract, and if it is not the same, we now go ahead to set up harmonization. We have a right to review what has been passed by the House of Representatives, and if we have different opinions on any section or any clause, then we set up a harmonization committee to look into it for purposes of concurrence. So it's not out of place for a senator to make observation or say a word. So leader, it's not that you bring it and we just go that way. Don't forget that this chamber is composed of very knowledgeable people who probably may have more information with emerging technologies than when the bill was initially considered in the House of Representatives. Things are changing on a daily basis.
Quickly, my clarification is that because this is a concurrence bill, it's actually going to be referred to the committee of the whole, but we are not doing the third reading today. Unless we choose to finish everything.
The leader of the Senate can regulate his own rules. So don't conclude. If at the end of the discussions we go ahead with the second reading and we think we should proceed with the third reading, we will do so. We are at liberty to do so. If we think it's not something that is contentious or bring up issues, we are at liberty to do so. But from the way Senator Adele is smiling, I can see that he has doubt. He have doubt. But then we have to do our work. So I want to hear from Senator Ome briefly, and then after I insist on hearing from Senator Baribe. I want to hear your view. This is Senator Muro. This is not North Central Development Commission.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Victor Ume, OFR. I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Thank you, Mr. President, for insisting that some of us should speak even though this bill is for concurrence, those of us who are from the Southeast are happy that this bill, which was passed in the 9th Senate, was introduced in the House of Representatives, and have been able to do conclusive work and pass the same bill, and now sent to us for concurrence. So those of us who are in this chamber, I don't speak for everybody, but let me say that I am very happy that this bill is here now for concurrence. The issues that necessitated this bill were captured by the presentation made by the Senate leader, that this Southeast Development Commission will be very useful in addressing the infrastructural deficits in the southeast of Nigeria. Many things were destroyed during the Civil War, Mr. President. And after the war, we were promised reconciliation, reconstruction, and rehabilitation. Those things that were destroyed were not rehabilitated as promised under the Gowon regime. So we have continued to suffer infrastructural deficit despite the efforts being made by the successive governments.
The lead debate has captured it all. So you just want to thank the
opportunity for comments was that everybody was saying that there is no need to debate. Everybody is ready. Alieno is ready for concurrence. Senator Kawu is ready for concurrence. Senator Baranada Mpigi is ready for concurrence. And all our brothers on the left side are all ready for concurrence. So on this note, I thank Mr. President and also urge this distinguished Senate to give express concurrence to this bill for the reasons I've stated. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you.
Well, distinguished Senator Ume, thank you. Distinguished Senator Baribe, there is no need to say a word because we are going to, if it is the view of the Senate, then automatically we'll go through the second reading and the report will be made available for us to go into clause by clause consideration on the next legislative date, not today. And I wanted to hear from Senator Baribe initially because I can't speak from here. I don't want to open debate from here. But because you are referring to rehabilitation of war-torn homes and houses, I wanted to know whether you will include that it should actually be Southeast to South-South Development Commission because the war was fought also in the South-South. But outside that, we can wait for the full bill to be presented to us so that we can look at clause by clause consideration. Leader of the Senate, leader of the Senate, proceed. Leader of the Senate, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Chief Whip, please.
Leader of the Senate, I rule, proceed.
And distinguished colleagues, let me inform that the essence of my motion for saying this concurrence bill should be referred to the Committee of the Whole to be taken the next legislative day was partly informed by the fact that I have been duly informed by the Secretariat that the report itself that will enhance our clause by clause consideration and third reading will be made available tomorrow, which is the next legislative day. If the report had been available today, we could have proceeded to the Committee of the Whole So I'm not saying this so that it becomes a precedent, you know, but because the report is not here, I move, Mr. President, that this concurrent bill be referred to the Committee of the Whole to be taken the next legislative day. Thank you, sir.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that this bill on concurrence be referred to the next legislative day for the Committee of the Whole to consider the report. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that the bill be referred to the next legislative date for concurrence and possible passage. Those who are in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate, so take the second reading.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Southeast Development Commission charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from the allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effect of the Civil War, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental or developmental challenges in the Southeast states, and for related matters 2024. Second reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to establish the Southeast Development Commission, charged with the responsibility, among others, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the federal account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effect of the Civil War, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental and developmental challenges in the Southeastern region, and for related matters 2024. Second reading taken and referred to the Committee of the Whole on the next legislative date. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the fifth order of the day is the second reading of the Southwest Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024, SB 68. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Tuesday, 1st August 2023. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Daniel Olugbenga Justus to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Leader of the Senate. Distinguished Senator OGD.
Mr. President, sir, my highly esteemed colleagues, I rise to lead the debate on the bill for an act to establish the Southwest Development Commission 2023, which has been sponsored by all the senators of the Southwest Geopolitical Zone, including our friends from all the other zones. Ably led by our leader, the State Senator Michael Okoyemi Bamidele. You recall that it was first read on the floor of the Nigerian Senate on the 1st of August 2023. This bill essentially aims to establish a commission for the Southwest region that will be charged with the responsibility, amongst others, to receive and to manage funds allocated by the federal government for the construction, reconstruction, and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region, and the need to tackle the ecological problems and other related environmental and developmental challenges in the Southwest states and other related matters. My distinguished colleagues, the southwestern part of Nigeria is made up of Ekiti, Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, and Oyo states. It's become a melting pot with almost all ethnic groups of Nigeria living there in peace and harmony. The people inhabiting southwest Nigeria constitute about 21% of the total population of the country, with a rich history that dates back to the ancient times, characterized by the rise and fall of various kingdoms, the influence of external trade and cultural interactions, and the eventual colonization by European powers. One of the most prominent early civilizations in the southwestern Nigeria was the Yoruba civilization, which emerged around the first millennium Anno Domini. The people established several cities, including Ife, Oyo, Ijebu and Egba cities, Ijesha, Ekiti, and so on and so forth, each with its own distinct political and cultural systems. The city-states were known for their advanced artistic tradition.
No, the distinguished senator, we understand what it is. It's about Southwest Development Commission. We know what it is to fill the gaps in the development of the Southwest. And so just summarize in 2 minutes, because we have another one, North Central Development Commission. So let's take them up, and then leader will summarize the argument.
Of governance, while emasculating the federation units, the Southwest region has lost its spark, and developmental strides of the founding fathers had been stunted. There is therefore a need to rejig the region in so many other ways: economic, socially, and also politically. In furtherance of the foregoing, let me say the population of Nigeria is projected to be over 400 million in the next 20 years, and Lagos should be about 62 million people. Within the state of the Southwest, therefore, is steadily experiencing massive migration. The region might be home to about 50% of Nigerians, thus expectedly adding strains on the infrastructural development of Lagos, the economic capital of Nigeria, and one of United Nations designated mega cities in Africa. Apart from the population expansion that is threatening Lagos and Ogun State, there are reports that the city of Lagos is sinking below the sea level, thus heightening lots of coastal degradations. These same coastal issues are affecting the riverine areas of Ondo and Ogun States. Hence, the need to holistically revamp the infrastructural and security deficits of the region. Mr. President, my respected colleagues, in summarizing, this bill is into 6 parts with 27 sections, and it captured the establishment of the Southwest Development Commission, the functions, the structure, the staff, the financial provisions, and other miscellaneous provisions. My dear President, indeed, the great people of the Southwest will be grateful to the 10th National Assembly under your able leadership if this laudable bill that would accelerate the development of the Southwest is passed. My respected colleagues, in closing, in line with Order 76.3 of the Senate Standing Order 2023 as amended, the financial operation of this bill is hereby attached. And let me assure you, it is no more than a paltry 1.5 billion naira. I therefore urge you all to kindly support this bill. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Is there any? Yes, SAS.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, there's very little to add except to say that this bill enjoys the support of all senators from Southwest, and I have the mandate of the senators as the secretary of the Southwest Senators Forum to say that this bill should not only be supported to scale second reading. The Southwest Development Commission may bear the title Southwest, but indeed is for Nigerians as a whole. There's hardly any part of the country that does not have an ambassador, so to say, in Southwest. Because Southwest is not only accommodating, it houses the largest, the 5th largest economy in Africa in Lagos, and the most important business roads in Nigeria crisscross Southwest. I therefore will urge the distinguished senators to support this initiative that will bring development closer to the people of Southwest, enhance the economy of Nigeria, deepen the unity and cohesiveness of our country, and accelerate the development strides of Southwest. I so second and urge the support for the establishment of the Southwest Development Commission. I so support, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, anything that has to do with development is something that I love. Development in any part of the country is development everywhere. So this Southwest Development Commission is not different because it's going to bring development to the Southwest. Leader, my opinion is that in the absence of any other thing, I want to put the question. Is it the view of the Senate that we refer this Southwest Commission Development Bill to the Committee on Special Duties? Leader of Southwest, please say something. Senator Dume, leave my leader alone. In the Senate.
Well, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'm Michael Okpeyemi Bamidele, representing Ekiti Central. By the grace of God and the benevolence of all our colleagues, the leader of the Senate from the Southwest. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, there isn't much to say.
There is no speaker here.
Mr. President, I didn't mean to get back at you. I apologize for that. and re-emphasize, Mr. President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and distinguished senators, the essence of this and the essence of my standing up to further ask for support is that the establishment of this commission will further enhance the development of the southwest part of our dear country. There's no doubting the fact that circumstances differ as to why different geopolitical zones are asking for the establishment of a development commission. Yes, we have just been told part of the reasons for the Southeast Development Commission request is that a civil war was fought that led to a lot of destruction and the need for reconstruction. And different geopolitical zones have different reasons. Part of our reasons in the Southwest is that the establishment of this commission will further enhance the development of the region. If you go outside of Lagos, outside of Ibadan, and some of the few major cities that we have, and you get into the hinterland and see what is happening, and you see what erosion is doing, to our land and different other reasons, you will know that there's a need, to actually have a commission that can further enhance the development of the nation. Finally, because I know that also virtually every region has a similar bill, and each of them will receive our attention as a parliament of elected people, may I also say that it's important as we go into our constitutional amendment efforts in the 10th Assembly that we consider the possibility of also getting our constitution to formally recognize geopolitical zones. Because in the Constitution as it is right now, there's nothing like geopolitical zone. There are 36 states, there are 774 local governments, and geopolitical creation was a political creation. And it's important that we also get our Constitution to recognize this, so that will form even the basis, for all of these requests that we are making for establishment of this commission, including the one that have been established. I thank you, Mr. President.
I do hope the Deputy Senate President and Chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee heard your last comment, which was that he's hoping that the Constitution will be further amended to include the regions, the zones, the 6 geopolitical zones, so that in future we may collapse all these developmental agencies into a national zonal development commission, so that it will be national in nature, but targeted at the different zones. So this is so, I will put the question. Those in favor that this bill be now read for a second time, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This is the clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Southwest Development Commission, charged with the responsibility, among others, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account, including donations and gifts, for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of infrastructural damages suffered by the region, and to tackle ecological, environmental, and other developmental challenges, and for related matters 2024. Second reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to establish the Southwest Development Commission, charged with the responsibility, amongst others, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account, including donations and gifts, for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of infrastructural damages suffered by the region, and to tackle ecological, environmental, and other developmental challenges and related matters therewith. 2024. Second reading taken. The bill is now referred to the Committee on Special Duties to work and report back to the Senate within 4 weeks. Let me congratulate the leader of the Senate and the Senior Senator Benga Daniels for bringing to the fore the environmental and ecological damages suffered by the Southwest region and the need to have a special development commission to tackle some of those challenges. And pray that when eventually, if this eventually goes through the Hawk and is passed into an act of parliament, that will help to ameliorate the sufferings of the people, enhance the living standards of the region, and assist all who live within the region, most of whom are not even from the region, but all Nigerians. So as I stated earlier, development in any part of Nigeria is development everywhere. And I welcome development, and then we also welcome the segmentation of development agencies so that eventually development can get to the grassroots and help the people of Nigeria. So I congratulate you, and I congratulate all my colleagues who have supported this, and thank you for your contributions. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished senators, may I request that we take the next sixth order of the day, bearing in mind, one, that the inaugural meeting of the Constitution Amendment Committee is slated for this afternoon, and I know our colleagues have various other committee meetings. But rather than having to step down order or stand down order we have on the other paper, I request that we still take the remaining Development Commission bill that we have. I haven't done North, Southeast and Southwest, but I say that the sixth order of the day is the second reading of the North Central Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024, SB 140. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Thursday, 5th October 2023. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Musa Mohammed Sani and distinguished Senator Moro Abba Patrick to move the motion in summary for the bill to be read a second time.
Distinguished Senator Abba Moro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, with your leave, I lead the debate on the establishment of the North Central Development Commission. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I want to inform you, ab initio, that this bill actually is co-sponsored by all senators from the North Central Zone across all political divides. We are united in our clamor for this Development Commission. And the North Central Zone comprises in no particular order of states like Kogi, Niger, Benue, Kwara, Plateau, Nasarawa, and the Federal Capital Territory. Mr. President, the North Central Zone has been bedeviled over time by three major problems: the terrorist activities of particularly the Boko Haram sect, the flooding that has become annual now in the North Central Zone, and of course, the kidnapping and herdsmen farmer clash that has left many homes devastated. Mr. President, the zone is blessed with very many resources that can be harnessed for the development of the zone. Mr. President, North Central Zone has the three big rivers in Nigeria that converge and flow into the ocean. And because of the annual effect of the release of water from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon, the North Central Zone is particularly flooded almost every year. Mr. President, if you get the statistics, so many persons have been displaced, so many persons have died in the course of the flooding in the North Central Zone. And particularly now that the clamor is for zonal developments across the country, we want to believe that with the development in Asia of most states and the near emasculation of local governments, the Central Zone can provide the nexus for the development of the country. Because we believe that an aggregate of the developments from the zones will lead to the development of Nigeria. And so today, because of that clamor, we want to ask our colleagues and the Senate to resolve that the North Central Development Commission should be established. I so submit, Mr. President.
Yes, distinguished Senator Sani Musa.
Thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, just as we did supported all other development commissions, I believe that my distinguished colleagues will give all the support for the North Central. You can see we've been suffering from flooding, banditry, and so many other mining activities. Thank you very much. So I believe my distinguished colleagues will support these bills for the second reading. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Shiru.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, the bill for North Central Commission is very apt. People of North Central Zone of Nigeria, by location, we carry almost all the problem of Nigeria. There's no way you can get to the north from south if you don't pass through our territory. Equally too, every time our people had been carrying the security problem of Nigeria. I will want to end it by saying that it is very, very important that for us to develop Nigeria, North Central states must be developed. Therefore, I support the reading of this bill for the second time.
Nobody is opposed to it, but Senator Lalong, just 1 minute, and then Senator Zam, one minute.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished senators, I also stand representing Plateau South. In 1 minute, my own is to express gratitude for the support I am already seeing for this, the North Central Development Commission, and especially coming from Mr. President himself. I have seen a lot of people who are married within this zone, because the first one that came from Southwest, we supported it. And I know that if we count here, a lot of people are married from the North Central. And I have no doubt with Mr. President that this bill will see the light of the day. I thank you.
Senator Title Zam, he used 35 seconds. I expect you to use 25.
Okay. Mr. Senate President, distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Zam. Mr. Senate President, the creation of North Central Development Commission is not just an economic duty, but it is a moral duty. And these are the reasons. You are aware that the Northeast Development Commission has done very well in taking care of the challenges of insurgency and other issues connected to their deplorable economic condition. And the North Central Nigeria shares similar features. Is it security challenges? Is it banditry? Is it insurgency? Is it underdevelopment? All of us are sharing these challenges together. Therefore, what is good for the good is also good for the gander. So Northwest northeast, north central, southeast, southwest. I think we're talking about Nigeria development. Therefore, I want to add my voice to this clarion call that North Central Development Commission should also be created, and then this bill should be allowed to move to the second reading stage. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary.
Let me thank the distinguished Senator Abamoro and the distinguished Senator Sari Musa and all those who brought this bill before us, and thank the distinguished Senator Lalong, the distinguished Senator Titus Zam, and the leader, the distinguished Senator Shiru, for all their contributions, and to say that almost everybody here is in agreement that because of your geographical location, that you pass through a lot in terms of insecurity. All the criminals from the south going to the north must pass through the north central. And all the bandits from the north coming to the south must pass through the north central. And so anything good must pass through north central, and everything bad must pass through north central. And you also have your own share of IDP camps. You have your own share of sufferings and destruction. In fact, on the 24th, a night before the Christmas, about how many people lost their lives? 92. 92 people were, 190. 190. So it's still unbelievable, because in a big sense, that was like pogrom. It's a pogrom to have such number of people dying and their children turning into refugees, orphans, and living in IDP camps, and the destruction that followed. These things cannot go unaddressed. I'm a lawyer, and I believe strongly in the Latin phraseology, ibi jus, ibi remedium, that where there is a wrong, there must be a remedy. And I think the NCDC, the North Central Development Commission, that we are hoping to pass from this Senate and the National Assembly, will address most of the wrongs that the North Central has suffered over the years. So, is it the view of the Senate that this bill be now read a second time? Those in favor say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the North Central Development Commission as a catalyst to develop the areas of potentials of the North Central, as well as address the gap in infrastructural development of the region and for related matters 2024. Second reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to establish the North Central Development Commission as a catalyst to develop the areas of potentials of the North Central, as well as address the gap in infrastructural development of the region. And I dare add to also address the destroyed infrastructure of the region, and for later matters there with 2024. Second reading taken. This bill is now referred to the Committee on Special Duties to report back to the Senate within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate. Leader of the Senate. Have you finished all the items? Otherwise, you suspend them. Is it finished?
Well, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that we stand down the remaining items. I believe we have 2 motions on the left on the other paper, so that they could be taken on the next legislative day. Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, I most respectfully move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I second the motion that we stand down the remaining items on the other paper for the next legislative day in view of the mood of the Senate. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved and seconded that we stand down any remaining item on the order paper to enable us proceed to the Constitution Review Committee inaugural meeting, and then the items should be brought the next legislative day. Those in support of the motion, so move and second, they say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Accordingly, this Senate is hereby adjourned to Thursday, the 22nd day of February 2024 at 11 a.m. prompt.